Welcome back, everybody, to a cup of Coco Reacts. You already know it's your girl Coco, and of course, here our reactions are real, our laughs are loud, and the tea is always gonna be hot. Now, before I get into any little one, two, y'all already know how I'm coming, how I'm always coming. Stop and subscribe to the channel, okay? If you don't subscribe, like, comment, share if you will, hype the video, let me know how I did on the video, comment your thoughts, and just connect with me. Y'all know I need it, okay? Now, we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. I seen this video floating around on my TikTok for you page, and it really made me sit up, and I felt like it would have been a good topic to elaborate on. So we're gonna get into it. Now, recently was pertaining to the lovely ladies of Poor Minds. Now, if you don't know Poor Minds, they are a popular podcast, Lex P and Drea Nicole, based in Atlanta. They created a podcast just navigating their dating life. As Lex would say, the podcast is very funny, very hilarious, very unfiltered. It's a little candid. They talk about, like I said, dating. They have little sex topics, music, social things in the current, things of that nature. Now, I think their duo mesh really well because, everybody knows that Lex is a more outspoken, person, and then Drea is a calmer person, but she still has a great personality, and she's still funny, in her own southern way. So I think the duo together is just like very entertaining and very relatable. So shout out to our girls Poor Minds. Comment down below, matter of fact, if you are a Poor Minds girly, because I'm a Poor Minds girly. I've been watching Poor Minds for almost about a year now, and I'm mad I'm just literally getting onto them because they've been around so hard. And shout out to Lex, though, because we are both Leos. I found out our birthdays are 2 days apart. And I found out she used to work at TGI. I used to work at TGI. She was a bartender. I was a server. So I was like, I knew it was something about that Lex that I loved. And both of our personalities are big. Everybody know I'm a little Bernie Mac. Everybody know I'll laugh you out your drawers or whatever. But enough about that. Now, the purpose of this video is it was a gentleman on TikTok, and he made a video on the recent, I'm not going to say recent because they just dropped a video yesterday, one of their previous videos, and they had two guests on there, which was Savannah James and April McDaniel. He made a video referencing that episode, stating that there was a disconnect between the co-host April and Drea. Now, if you don't know, the co-host of who was on Poor Minds, Savannah James and April McDaniel, of course, we all know who Savannah James is, but Savannah James and April, they have their own podcast as well called Everybody's Crazy. And they talk about, certain things like Poor Minds topics, but it's just more so like career-based, family-oriented, advice-oriented. I feel like modern social issues or whatever, still very calm, like I said, advice-oriented or whatever. And Poor Minds has been on their podcast as well. Let's just keep that disclaimer going, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and play the clip for context so you guys could see what I'm referencing to about the gentleman who posted the video in regards to the Poor Minds episode. All right, here we go.
Promise y'all, I really do my best to stay out of women's business, but in that Poor Minds and Savannah James and her co-host interview, I don't know what her co-host name is, but every time I see that clip, I just don't like how her co-host is sitting. I got to know if Savannah's co-host is beefing with Drea, because her back is turned to her, and I get how she's sitting. She had her leg on the chair, but it's like even when she's talking, she wasn't even like, okay, I'm sitting this angle, but when I'm speaking, I'm making sure I'm kind of, panning my face to everybody to talk. It's like she's almost acting as if she's not there. Now, I don't know whether there's a beef or whatever, but it's just like every clip I've seen, it just makes me uncomfortable.
Okay, so that was the recent video that I seen floating on my TikTok For You page when I was just minding my black ass business about our girls' Poor Minds. Now, you made a disclaimer. I'm going to make my disclaimer. You didn't try hard enough to stay out of women's business because you actually sat there, recorded, reviewed it, and posted. You could have went on their YouTube page, drop a comment, over there. It was thousands of them. They probably ain't going to see them all. You get what I'm saying? But you actually put that on the TikTok platform. You knew what you was doing, but I ain't mad at you. However, when you go to his video and you go to the comment section, maybe about 94% of the comment section, you know what, I'm gonna up it up a little bit. Maybe about 97% of the comment section oddly was in agreement with what he was feeling. They felt like April's energy was off-putting. They felt like she was acting stank. You know, they felt like she was being a little bit judgy. So I had to take a step back because it's like, what are you guys seeing that I'm not seeing? So I actually watched the video about 4 times, literally. I watched the video literally about 4 times with these 4 eyes, these glasses, and I took the glasses off, took a shower, and then watched it when I got into bed. So I wanted to really take the time to really try to debunk this, how y'all would say, because first of all, him saying the chair setup, first of all, was absolutely wild. You know what I'm saying? Like comparing a chair setup, because what was the difference between Lex and Savannah setup versus Drea and April? Literally, I think the body language was just how it is for people, for 2 women sitting in the center. They were in the center of a April was in the center of a semicircle. So the way they were analyzing that, just because they stated April wasn't looking back when Dre was talking, but she was though. They were actually keying and having a grand time, and April was touching on, you know, Drea and giving her the floor to talk, wasn't interrupting her, wasn't interjecting, wasn't getting attitudes with her. Is you niggas cool? What is, and who gives a damn if the body was a little more towards Savannah and Lex? Who cares? Like I said, remember when I said in the beginning that this is not this is not Savannah and April first time interacting with Poor Minds. Poor Minds has been on their show. They're very familiar with each other. I'm pretty sure they probably went out and ate and got some drinks after the episode aired. So why the hell is you niggas putting something that's not there? Stay out of women's business. That's why I said you did a terrible job in putting your thought in this, buddy. Do you see us getting in y'all business? Literally. So maybe about 48 minutes, and this is where I wanted to talk about it. Maybe about 48 minutes, and that's how you know it wasn't really no pressure on nobody in, because 48 minutes before then, they was just chomping it up, just talking randomly, casually, like they just came over each other's house, just having good girl conversation. It wasn't until 40 minutes in, that's when they got on the topic at hand. So when they expressed the first topic, I think it was when Drea said, is it disrespectful for a man to use profanity around a woman too much? So everybody started to give their opinion, and then that's when April gave hers, and I'm going to play the clip right here as well.
Yeah, like I think that is, but I do think men put a class system on women.
Yeah.
Like, so you could be out, like guys will be out with us, or like people, like friends that we're friends with.
Yeah.
And then they be like, yeah, but y'all not like them.
And I don't like that, because why are you trying to separate?
Yeah, but I think that happens a lot.
It definitely does. I mean, we've talked about this before, because I was like, when the show like first started, we were open about like our dating life and things and going on. People was like, oh, them the hoes. But it's like, we're not the hoes. We just are talking about our dating lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now,
I do think how you carry yourself is a reflection of how people see you.
I agree, because I don't feel like nobody ever looked at me like I was a hoe.
No.
But they did though, because we was on them t-shirts with them asses out. We was trying to sell them shirts.
I want a shirt.
It was giving.
Savannah, we gotta
You want one?
We gotta show you the shirt.
She
Is
went-
it vintage at this point?
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear it. So
Y'all
if you
gonna
send me
wear
a
it?
vintage,
It's a vintage.
We can wear
Yes.
it. We can wear it to our strip club.
It's a vintage like rap tee. Like it was supposed to be like rap tee, Lil Kim vibe.
Yeah.
So
What y'all have on?
Nothing. I don't even care.
thong. Even Cisco was blushing, but we cut up.
Little flies.
Yes.
But what I was gonna say
Would
is,
y'all do that now?
no.
So
We
that,
classy babes.
so that's what I mean. I feel like if you put a certain energy out there, that's why I am particular about what I wear.
Okay.
And that's fair. Like, but see, I think it's a difference between, like, you said, okay, people do, right? Like, did look at us that way.
Yeah.
I think people who don't know me,
Yes.
people who know me in real life, like, they know what the, like,
Yeah, of
shit
course.
ain't going.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not giving that.
But I think people judge on what they see.
They do. They do.
And I feel like young women, not all, but some young women really be putting the body on the forefront.
Yeah.
They do.
Like sometimes I be out and be like, whoa.
So that was the clip from April, and like she said, she feels like how you carry yourself is a reflection how people view you. I feel like that's an honest, response. And even Lex was in agreement of it too, because she said, back then when they were, more so building up the channel, getting that recognition, they feel like they got classified as hoes, even though Drea says she never thought anybody classified her as a hoe. But Lex was like, they kind of did though. And I feel like how it worked for them was because they were beautiful, they was fine, sexy. The topics were good, they had authentic conversations, real combos, they had good personality, you get what I'm saying? So whatever they was labeled as, honestly, it did work for them to be as successful, as they are now. So I'm like, what's the disconnect? Why is it off? Why everybody's talking like? So then that's when I started watching it more. And I feel like this is where the disconnect came from, okay? Now, when April said, matter of fact, let's just drop this clip, okay?
About what I wear.
I feel like no matter what I have on, they gonna say they.
So let me ask you this.
Gonna say that.
If you got a certain outfit on, this for all of us.
Okay.
If you have a certain outfit on and it's scandalous, how can you be offended that it gets you certain type of disrespectful attention? If a guy addresses you in a certain type of way because your body is out,
Right.
Yeah.
like, oh, what's up, you fucking?
He gonna do that anyway,
Ain't
though.
nobody saying that.
They do be saying that.
Now, that's the clip that I'm seeing. When you type in Poor Minds podcast, like hashtag Poor Minds, you're going to mainly see that clip coming up of April saying, if you're wearing a scandalous outfit or, revealing, how can you feel some type of way if a man approaches you in, a disrespectful way? And my thing is, because people hear what you want, people hear what they want. Did y'all hear her say, if you a woman and you wear scandalous outfits and revealing outfits, you deserve to get disrespected? Is that what y'all heard? Is that what you niggas feeling like? Literally, because I'm seeing the comments, like I said, and if you go on certain videos, like I said, type it in hashtag, you'll see people in the comments saying, oh, she's promoting great culture. So you're pretty much saying it's the woman's fault. Why did they bring her on here with this attitude? She's the problem. She asked a valid damn question. Like, when a man comes up to you and asks you what's up, you on that. And I think this is honestly where it was like making it something a little bit than what it wasn't. Because when Savannah said, when she made the comment, when April was like, if a man comes up to you like, what's up, you on that? And Savannah was like, ain't nobody saying all that. But then Lex was like, well, hold on now. You up there on the DJ booth. I'm on the dance floor, because it's really true. And at the end of the day, Savannah, you in the house. You're put up. Your BDB is in the house, okay? You wouldn't know nothing about what these niggas out here doing, okay? They is treacherous, okay? They treacherous. They don't play, literally. And we already know that your BDB gave you the talk before you left the house, okay? He gave you the talk before you. Don't be going on that show, carrying on, speaking how you speak. You a wife. Your BDB here is secure. You get what I'm saying? And I also want to point out, everybody is jumping on April, but nobody is talking about how April, she was really carrying the show as far as like her and Savannah as a duo. April was doing most of the talking. Savannah was just over there, just reserved, just a little butterfly. It was just like she was not saying much, but she was just saying enough. But nobody's talking about honestly how dry Savannah ass was. I love you, Savannah Van, but you was a little dry. April definitely was talking more. You get what I'm saying? They both was interacting, but April was carrying it, like for the duo, not as the whole entire show. Like, with y'all don't want to talk about that. I love you, Savannah, but you was dry, sister. So that's kind of what I'm hearing, as far as that's what I'm feeling like it went left when April made that statement. But more so, if you look at April and you can see her energy, you can see her aura, she's like a conservative, more traditional, more reserved, they're in their 40s. I think I saw a ring on her finger as well. I'm not too sure if she's married. I don't want to, talk out of turn. And, just certain morals. She was probably, trained up to, don't do certain things as a woman. Don't put yourself out there as a woman. You get what I'm saying? Who knows? But I feel like the internet is being one-sided, and they're kind of like literally judging this lady for nothing. Now, I did wanted to elaborate on what she's stating as far as like, we already know a man should never disrespect a woman because, of what she wears. That's granted. We already know. I honestly think that April was just saying the way you dress, it can attract more attention than you would like, whether it be negative, whether it be outside, whether it be on the internet. Of course, it's the first thing that people see when they look at you. But I don't think April was saying that you deserve to be disrespected. It never, warrants disrespect, harassment, aggression, any of those things. But like Savannah was saying, nothing is left to the imagination anymore. Nothing is left to the imagination. And I think more so even Lex and Drea, well, mainly because I think that the internet is kind of like knowing that Lex and Drea was definitely those type of women who didn't leave anything to the imagination. Let's just keep it a bean. They even said it themselves on their shirts. If you haven't gotten a Poor Mind shirt, or if you haven't seen a Poor Mind shirt, you seen Lex had that big old booty, on display. Dre was posed up like Lil' Kim. You get what I'm saying? Of course, they had to do what they had to do. It was around COVID time, but I feel like it was more so the enticement of, what they were selling, the fantasy. Let's not act oblivious, people. And I think that's where the internet is, one-sided, because it's just like, are y'all upset because y'all felt that Lex and Drea was one of the women that she was not really talking about, but we've seen them on display. We've seen their Instagram. We've seen how they dress. Of course, they don't dress, like that all the time, but sometimes they do dress modest. Sometimes they do dress professional. Sometimes we call them dressing casual. But most of the time when we saw them on a podcast, especially, as they glowed up, they had them big old water jugs. Lex had them big old water jugs. Drea had them nipples on hard, would literally poke through the screen. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, you're inviting us. That's what they did. You get what I'm saying? But y'all don't want to, say it. And really what gagged me is when Savannah was like, I want my shirt. What the hell you finna wear that to, Miss Savannah Van? You gonna wear that to a Poor Mind store? You gonna wear it around your BDB? Where are you gonna wear that shirt? And I feel like you can't even walk out the house with the shirt on. You would have to tuck it under here or put it in one of your Birkins or one of your Chanels and then go out to where you need to go, or link up with April and then y'all put the shirt on. But where the hell, you don't want that shirt, Savannah Van. Why are you lying to them girls? You do not want that shirt, girl. That shirt is going to be tucked away in your fitness drawer, away from where anybody can see it, especially your BDB, okay? But like I said, I'm going to always stand by it. I don't think April was coming off judgy, or she was coming off as stank, or her energy was wrong. I think it's nothing wrong with just having genuine conversations and just getting other people's views and opinions. Even though April, she did say that she comes off bitchy sometimes, but I don't think she displayed that on the episode. But like I said, I could be wrong. I think she was just looking at it as a viewer in her day-to-day, what she sees on a daily basis when she go outside, or when she go to the club, or when she go to events, or when she anywhere, and she's seeing certain women wearing certain things. But like I said, revealing outfits does, does attract attention more than you would like. That's just the nature of it. And in a world when we would like to have men to have self-control, we want men to have self-control. We want men to not look at us as sexual objects. These niggas are horny. And what makes men horny? Ass and titties. Let's just keep it a bean, okay? That's what makes them horny. And when it's on display, soon as a man walk outside, soon as he go out, like, what do you expect a man to do? Not saying it's, it warrants it. Not saying a woman deserves that, but what do y'all expect men to do these days when it's literally on display? Like, literally. But I think that's with Drea and Lex, already being self-aware and saying that, certain things that they did back then, they wouldn't do in their 30s just because they're older. They're grown women. We the premium adults now. We're in our 30s. I'm in my 30s. Of course, certain things I wouldn't do. But April and Savannah, they were just honestly reserved, conventional, traditional women. Ooh, excuse me. Their wives, like I said. And I didn't see anything off. I think the show was very much enjoyable. I think it was genuine conversation. Like I said, Drea and April was just kikiing all up and through there. Okay, they was touching each other, grabbing each other. You niggas need to go outside and touch some grass, okay? And stop putting something and it's not there, literally. Now, I hope that Drea and Lex continues to put more successful, like-minded women on their show. I think I would love to see Keke Palmer next. I don't think I've seen Keke Palmer on there before. I don't know, but I haven't watched all their videos. But like I said, the show was genuine. It was funny. I loved it. And of course, I can't wait to see more. So if you are a Poor Minds girly and you love the episode, or if you are a Poor Minds girly and you felt like there was something off with April as well, she was a little shady, she was a little judgy, she was a little stank-a-dank-dank, let me know in the comments how you feel. If you're not a Poor Mind girly and you just saw the episode in general, let me know the tea, how you feel, okay? Now, that's all I got for you guys today. It is getting late and I am going to turn in for the evening, but you already know how I'm coming, how I'm leaving. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe. If you want to see me on your screen, put on them notifications, like, comment, share, hype the video up, okay? And it's been real, my Cocoa Puffs. I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah.